Alright guys, maybe it's the caffeine from the pre-workout that I've been taking, but I'm feeling extra productive today. Might as well make a second video, and of course you guys aren't going to complain about that. More free, awesome, educational content out there for you guys to check out. And this one is the one that a lot of people have been asking me about. A lot of people have been waiting for this. This is going to be the video about how I do my technical analysis, how I set up my charts, and where the heck did those dotted lines come from and what did they mean. This is pretty much one of the most commonly asked questions that I get, if not the most commonly asked questions. So hopefully you guys finally get your questions answered in this video, and this video might be a popular one with you guys as a result. So hopefully this helps you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and discuss how I go about things in terms of technical analysis. And again, I wanted to explain that there are multiple approaches to technical analysis. There are lots of people that use tons of fancy indicators like MACD, simple moving average, exponential moving average, RSI, stochastics, Fibonacci. I mean, those are great and all, but personally for me, I feel like they just overcomplicate the situation, and they take up space in your chart, and it causes a lot of confusion, and sometimes they conflict with each other, and it just screws you up. So personally for me, I just stick with good old-fashioned price action, volume, support, and resistance. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about how Madaz approaches technical analysis and what has worked for him up to this point. And hopefully it's something that might work for you as well. So the first thing I want to go over is pretty much a lot of people ask me, how do I detach the charts? It's pretty simple. Just go on the right hand corner of the window and just go to detach, and now you can pop out the chart. And by the way, this is Thinkorswim. A lot of people ask about that as well. Where are these charts from? These are from Thinkorswim. All you have to do is sign up for a TD Ameritrade account, and Thinkorswim is pretty much free with an account, whether or not you fund it or not. So that's why a lot of people out there, they use Thinkorswim. It's free, and they have really good charting tools. They have a bunch of stuff that you can do, like the stuff that I mentioned, lots of studies, Fibonacci and all that. But I personally don't use them, but a lot of people do, and they find it useful, so that's why they go with it. I like to go with it as well. I like the way it looks, and they have lots of features. So, and it's free. So that's what's great about it, and that's why I've been sticking with it. So this is Thinkorswim, guys, so you guys don't have to ask me again. I execute my trades through DAS, so this is a DAS trader level 2, but the charts are Thinkorswim. So I detach everything so that I can set up my screen to make it look like this. Okay, so you guys don't have to ask, like, how did I get this to look like this, or how do I get the TOS charts with the DAS level 2. You just simply detach them, like I showed you right here. You detach the chart by going to this little icon in the top right corner of the chart. Go to detach, and there you go. Okay. So the next step is, where do I get these dotted lines from? Pretty simple. All you have to do is go to this little icon right next to the zoom out icon, just to the right of it. I think by default it's this finger or the pointer or whatever it is. All you have to do is go to price level. And there you go. You could draw your line wherever you want. And then once you draw your line, you can edit properties, and you can change the color right there. You can change it to red if you want. You can change the dotted solid. You make it thicker. Do whatever you want with it. Okay, and then you can save it as default, so that way the next time you draw the line, it'll automatically draw it the way you drew it the previous time, so you don't have to keep changing it. Okay, and you could draw different style lines for each. You could draw red lines for resistance, green lines for support. That's what I used to do, but I got lazy. In the end, it didn't really matter to me. They're just colors. So as long as I can see the price level very clear, it doesn't really matter what color it is. But there you go. See, I just changed the setting. The lines looks a little bit different. So you can do whatever you want. That's how you draw the lines, guys. Just go to this icon, price level. Okay, and then just draw your lines. Okay. So that's that. You could also draw your lines in the volume part, volume section of the chart right here. You can see it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that's pretty much the tools that I use, more or less. So let's go to the technical aspect behind it, the theory. So SUNE or SUNE or SUNE or whatever you want to call it was probably the main stock that was in play today. Lots of people made a lot of money off of it, and I felt like it would make a really good stock to analyze. So I'm going to go ahead and analyze this. Let's just go ahead and clear all these lines and pretend like we know nothing about it. Okay. So the way I do analysis, and again, this is subjective, this is how I do it. There are some people that may disagree with me, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. It's whatever works for whoever is doing the analysis, and the way I've been doing it has been working for me. You may take a different approach to it, and do understand that I'm more so of a very, very short-term trader, a scalper, so I do my analysis according to my style of trading. So SUNE today, big mover, huge tank at the open, bad news. Stock was previously up from the 2s up to the high 6s, as you can see based on this chart. And fade at the open, some lawsuit news, hit a bottom of 446, grinded back up late in the day, hitting the mid 5s once again before fading at the end of the day due to some, I believe, the terrorist threat on New York City that kind of tanked almost a lot of the stocks, really, not just this particular one, but a lot of stocks seemed to take a little bit of a dive late in the day, but nonetheless, nice action overall. Lots of people took advantage of it, which is good to see. So the way I approach my technical analysis is I always look at the most recent price levels as giving it more weight with regards to determining the support and resistance. So let's just say late in the day, the stock faded to about the 510s, as you can see right there, and then bounce. So I'm going to work backwards here. 510, my first support level. My first resistance level is going to be around 5.6. Okay, again, working backwards. And right here, you got a little bit of a support level as well, 5.4. But like I said, the most recent action will take precedence over the prior action. So since late in the day, you can see that this stock kind of just blew through 5.4. I'm going to go ahead and disregard 5.4 as a support level, but do make a note of it that it was a support level at one point. Okay, so make a note of that, but do recognize that late in the day that the support level at 5.4 was just blown right through without really much of a reply from that 5.4 level. It was not defended, so I'm just going to go ahead and ignore it. You could draw a level right here, about 5.36 as well. So I guess you can kind of mark this level and call this a 5.4-ish retest. Okay, move backwards. You can see that a resistance from the morning right here, about 5.2. But you can see that this 5.1 kind of took precedence over this 5.2. So I'm just going to leave this 5.1 as a level. Move backwards. Okay, there was a little bit of a slam here, 4.8. So I'm going to draw one line there. And then, of course, this low at 4.46. Okay, move backwards. So we can see that this resistance level at around 5.6 was retested here twice, more or less, at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time and about 3 o'clock Eastern Time. So you can see that this level was pretty key moving forward because it was tested 3 times. So that's how I determined whether or not a resistance or support level resistance or support level is key or not if it's tested multiple times. So you can see that this resistance level around 5.6 was not tested only once, but twice and 3 times. Okay, so moving forward, going into tomorrow, we can say that 5.6 is going to be a very key resistance level. A breakout of 5.6 should signal a nice move to the upside on SUNE. Okay, move backwards. We can see a little bit of a soft resistance here around 5.95, close to 6 even. And move backwards. The high of day around 6.67, which was the open pretty much. The open was at 6.6, spiked up to 6.67 before this epic move downward. Okay, so that's pretty much my analysis. I normally do this a lot quicker, but just to do it slow for you guys can see exactly what I did. Okay, so these are my levels moving forward into tomorrow based on the intraday action. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw the line for my volume criteria. This is something that I use to compare day-to-day volume, so I can kind of gauge to see the interest of the stock from one day to the next. So I just draw a line basically on the highest volume candle within the first 30-45 minutes or so. Maybe I could extend it to an hour, but usually I just want to note the opening volume. So that way I can kind of gauge that how much volume is this stock capable of trading, okay, in your time frame, in this case 3 minutes. So tomorrow I'm going to be looking to see if this stock within the first couple minutes or so, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, to see that if it gets anywhere near having a 5.1 million share candle in a 3-minute time frame. That way I can kind of deduce that there's still a lot of people looking to trade SUNE, and that I could expect maybe possibly similar price action and similar liquidity moving forward. If it trades a lot lower than this, then I would probably consider downsizing my position. I probably wouldn't be doing 10,000 shares like I did today. I might be doing maybe 5,000 shares or maybe 2,500 shares, depending on how much volume there is. So that's how I use this volume criteria to determine how I trade the stock moving forward. Now, if this volume is substantially lower, let's just say it opens with less than 1 million shares or something, I might just not even trade at all. Maybe there's something better with more volume to trade. Okay, so it's very important to note the volume. Like I said, it denotes interest and liquidity in the stock moving forward, and you can basically compare day to day how many people are interested in trading the stock. If it's substantially lower, then maybe people just don't care about it anymore, and maybe everyone's moving on to some other stock. So keep that in mind, guys. That's why this volume criteria is very important. So let's move back a day. We can draw some lines right here as well. We can see that this thing traded in a range more or less about 670, 680, give or take. So we could just draw a line around here or something like that as a previous day's high, and also around there 685. So now we have some pretty nice price levels. Bottom end of the channel as well, 655. So this is pretty good analysis. So we can kind of say that if SUNE were to break above 5.6, that would make a pretty nice move towards $6. So look for a 6 retest, and then beyond that, it might make a nice little move up to maybe about 650. So that's pretty nice, levels there to observe. So that's based on our analysis, that if the stock were to break above this key 5.6 level that tested 3 times today, that has a good shot at going to 6 and a good shot at going to 6.5. Now, if it were to break below maybe 510, as you can see here, 510 more or less is the over-under between the action around here, between 10 and between 11 and about 1:30ish, to the action after 2 p.m. and also the action before 11, right? So 510 should be a key level, key pivot point moving forward, whether or not this thing either stays above and keeps grinding higher, or cracks and makes a move back down to 480 and possibly back down to the lows at 446. Now, SUNE obviously had a very, very large range today. It traded in a $2 plus range. So we should be prepared for this thing to possibly trade in a $2 plus range tomorrow. Of course, that's heavily dependent on the volume price action of tomorrow, but why not prepare for it ahead of time in advance, just in case it does that? Okay, so to do that, I usually pull up a larger time frame chart. Like I said, we want to move backwards to discover more key price levels for us to identify as key support and resistance. Now, I'm pulling up a 30-minute chart. I guess you could try a 15-minute chart too if you want, but I'm just going to go ahead and do a 30-minute chart. Should give you the same picture more or less. And you can see that there is a nice little over-under here about, give or take, maybe $4.08, $4.10. So we could kind of conclude that if this thing were to crack below 440, this thing would make a beeline toward 410. Below that, we got a little level here at 386 right there, pretty obvious. We can see that it was tested twice here in this after hour session and also intraday the following day. And then we can see that there's a 330 low right here. So there's another level that we can note. You could draw maybe a couple lines right here, maybe at 345 if you want, just for insurance. But I would look at this 330 as more so as a key level because it was tested twice during the day. So now we have some additional levels to work off of: 440, 410, 385-ish, 340, 330s. So that's on the downside. On the upside, we can see that this thing did test $7 in a pre-market session at one point. You could draw a line there if you want. 7 is a nice whole number, so we should observe it and respect it as a possible resistance level. So there we go. We have some more levels to work off of. Let's see if we can get anything else. Let's move back with a 1 hour chart even further. We can even go as far as say we could draw a line here at 308-ish and 296. There we go. Some more lines for us. So, I mean, I think at this point, this is enough lines. We don't want to populate our chart with too many price level lines. It may confuse us. So I feel like giving this thing a nice range down to the 2s is more than enough. If you want, you could go even further. You can see that 255 is the low. So you could draw a line there as well in case that it does even go that low. Okay, so that's pretty much what I would do in terms of technical analysis on SUNE. So based on these lines, my analysis says that, like I said, if it breaks above 5.6, I expect this thing to go up towards 6, maybe 650 if it goes beyond that. If it were to crack below this low over under at 5.1, I would expect it to at least test 480 and then possibly retest the lows around 446. A crack below 446, I would expect this thing to probably retest this key over under low at 410, so giving it another 30 cents of downside. And then below that, 385, so another 30 cents give or take of downside. And then below that, it might go really south here from the 380s down to possibly the 330s. Okay, guys, so that's pretty much my analysis, and this is how I approach things. Hopefully this helps. This is pretty simple. Like I said, no complicated, fancy indicators that a lot of people would use that would take up a lot of space in their charts. I also use VWAP, volume weighted average price, as an over, under, or support or resistance level. So if that lines up with some of these lines, I also implement that as part of my analysis. But more or less, this is how I do things. It's been proven to be quite reliable based on the way I've been able to execute trades and identify high percentage, good risk-reward ratio trades. And hopefully this will clarify a lot of things, and that way you guys won't ask me a lot of these questions that I keep getting asked over and over again. And hopefully this helps you guys in terms of your trading careers. So any further questions, of course, as always, you're more than welcome to tweet at me on Twitter, leave a comment below in the comments section, and have a wonderful rest of the evening, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.